from the government, and I'm here to help.
Take a look, it's in a book.
Some members of the community use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda.
Let's watch Figure It Out.
Welcome back to another wonderful episode of the We Figured It Out podcast. It's Matt's day. We're fucking in. That's what we are. We're ready to go. It's Holy Week. We're the end of days best friends. Let's talk some Jesus shit.
I'm already Matt, and that's Michael.
You'll notice I'll try to drop the other episode. Well, I will drop the other episode before this. And if anybody listens to that one where we're still giving away stuff to our subscribers, hey, 2 episodes in a row. I've said it. Look, you're zooming in. See, there it goes. You were way far out. Anywho, we were talking. You'll listen to that one before you hear this one. We were like, Jesus. And we looked over Easter. Remember that?
Yeah.
And it said when in 2029 is when we looked. When did we look? And it would be April 22nd.
Yeah.
And it got us on this branch. We were like, the fuck, dude? Why is it
so late? Yeah.
And then we come to find out it could even be in March.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Why is that? Why is that? Was our question.
Yes, exactly.
And we got into a little bit of the lunar stuff.
That is exactly it. That's what we're going to get into. We're going to be like lunar Jesus because the Bible don't want to talk about that shit, right? Well, they do want to talk about it, but it tells you, like Jesus specifically tells you not to. So that's what brought us to this episode, right?
Right.
Lunar Passover. We're representing Jesus
told
with
us
lunar.
not to do.
Yes.
By questioning things.
Yes. So we want to talk about, because most Christians, right, you grow up hearing like Easter moves around every year. You know, we never asked why, you know, like we were just talking. It's sometimes March, sometimes April. We buy fucking candy, we go to church, you know. Yeah. Sometimes we dress
get
kids
a
up.
basket and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
They go hunt for eggs from a bunny.
Exactly.
That has Christian written all over it.
And then yeah. Well, the bunny. I do have why we get into what do the pagans say? Ishtar, you know, and like rebirth. I got that one here too. So they're not gonna fucking get anything by us. All right.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Get that exit covered too.
Yeah. So yeah. Then you end up like us, you know, you're old and you're doing nothing and you're like, hey, let's fucking talk about stuff. And then you're like, why the hell are we putting stuff on the moon, you know, like lunar situated if Jesus is don't look to the stars and things like that. You know, he actually I have some scripture pulled up right here, but there's not like exactly Jesus saying not do it, but God mocks the astrologers of Babylon in Isaiah 47, chapters 13 and 14. He says, let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee. And so it's like, you know, he's kind of telling you, hey, man, these guys, if they could predict that shit, let them come take care of what you thought you needed, you know, or whatever. And then Jeremiah 10:2 says, learn not the way of the heathen and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. So those are things like kind of, and these are people who hung out, you know, God obviously didn't hang out with Jesus. He is, but
right.
You know, Jeremiah and around. And in like Matthew chapter 16, Jesus is always rebuking people who are looking for signs from the stars. So there are these instances. And then you're like us, you look into it and you go, what the fuck? You know, why is it the first Sunday after the first full moon, which is after the spring equinox?
Yeah, it makes you feel guilty for looking into those things. Like why I can't look into what is that? The one with the P.
The one with the P.
Pal Ladies, what is that?
Pleiades,
Is that what it
the
is? Pallades?
constellation.
Yeah, like seven sisters,
Yes,
but there's
it
only
is the
six.
Pleiades, the
Pal
Palladians.
Pallid
There we go.
no. Pleiades. Pleiades.
Pleiades.
I knew I'd get on it sooner or later.
See, you just need to like talk to somebody a little bit dumber about these things than you, and I'll spit out all the wrong answers, and there you go, dude.
Yeah, enough wrong answers. I'll get the right one.
um. Anyway, why is it kind of like that? Why can't you look at that one?
So, like, in like, it's because of Greek mythology, partially, right? Like, you're not supposed to look into it because, like, there was a seventh one at one point, and they say that there was, like, into the naked eye, there's only six. So they say that the one had fallen, which they had known that there was seven at one point, and they say that, like, over time, the two have overlapped enough to where you now see one, but at one point we could see two, but that would put us at hundreds of thousands of years old.
Oh, so we're not supposed to be able to see that.
How?
But
And see, like when you start questioning these things, that's where I start feeling guilty, like dude, how much further down this rabbit hole? Like that's like at what point am I playing with the Ouija board? You know?
that's true. But yeah, that's you just want to know, but don't look for your answers there, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
It,
not all the answers, but I mean,
there
why?
are no
How did
answers there,
they?
right?
Yeah, there's no answers, but like, why? Was there two and now there's one, and we knew that before, you know?
They're they're the daughters of Atlas and Pleione.
Yeah, and he tried to keep them away from Orion.
Yes, that's right. Somebody wanted them all the time, huh? And then they
Orion
got
wanted
tricked.
them. But
It
if you
is
look at the
Orion.
constellations, like I mean, that's what like Orion's over here and Pleiades is over here. So
He's just a
it's
creep. Hopefully they were of age.
yeah, yeah. But I can see protecting her daughters though, dude. I definitely can understand that.
Yes. Yes. That means we got daughters, folks.
Yep, yep.
Anyway,
Like even when she's like 20, I'm gonna be like, you boys, I know what you're thinking.
dude, that's why we halfway lift weights.
Sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I halfway do it so I could be like, you know what, man? I look like I'm 27.
I look like I could fight you pretty good.
Yes, yes. I'm really gonna have a heart attack or a stroke though if I
Yes,
try.
yes. I'm in the danger zone I learned at the mosh pit.
my my knee will buckle.
Oh, dude.
Oh, the mosh pit was good. Um, so if Jesus is the fulfillment and is the substance and is the Passover lamb, the sacrificial lamb, then why is the resurrection feast? Are we still scheduling it off moon math? Um, that's our question tonight. That's what we're going to get into. We don't need to
Was
talk
this
about
is his death
what's.
sequence due to when the Romans killed him? Did they kill him on a specific date?
I mean, if we believe people, then yes, right? Everything was ritual about it. Um, Everybody always tries to cover like, oh, is the moon an evil pagan symbol, or was God or were the heavens used for signs because you weren't supposed to look there? So does that mean God never put signs in heavens? People make these all arguments when they go around this kind of question, or the pagan part of Easter, with all this. Oh, well, it's because Ishtar or whatever. I don't. We could pull that one apart too, but
Yeah.
that'll come later. Um, Really though, the question is, right, why did the institutional church, after everything was already fucking done and we went into the new shit, why did they keep that old sacred like ritual around the resurrection of Christ? So um it's because, right, we think it's weird. Scripture warns us against like getting wrapped up in signs and like omens or this cosmic nonsense. um that's why the pagans look to the skies, right?
Right. And then it says specifically don't do this. And then
Yes.
it's like, oh, wait, let's base this entire holiday on the
Yeah.
lunar
When they find
cycle.
out Easter's tied to a literal full moon calculation, people go, hold on. You're telling us pagans did that and gods, little g, as my grandma likes to say, shout out grandma, little g
Yeah.
gods.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
why, if those are all associated with it, why is Jesus attached to that? And it's kind of weird, dude. Like you Google articles on this shit and people are like weirded out about it.
Like, dude, and like there's certain things too. Like I like don't get me wrong, like I kind of go down a rabbit hole there, like, but I mean like the book of Enoch, like it just gone because why? Because dude said no?
Yeah, it's
Who
not
said no?
it's not pertaining to the what does that mean though? But then they tell you
I
every
mean, if you get on Revelations too hard, yeah, does that pertain to much of anything? I mean,
yeah, it's fucking over.
yeah.
um the weird part though, yeah, is they tell you that and they're like, oh, these books aren't in, but then you hear all these scholars and everybody talk about it and they're referencing all these other books for context that you're like supposed to know. They're like, well, this guy, we know through this book that his journey, and you're like, what the hell?
Because it contradicts something in the Bible, which I mean, that would be bad, right? Because I mean, the Bible can't, in theory, do that until you get into okay,
Is it
Who found Jesus? Tell
women?
me that.
Well, the Roman soldier and women. Or you mean like
Was
first?
it Peter or is it the women?
It was the women,
Mm,
right? Because they went to open the tomb to take his body to clean it, and he wasn't there.
I don't know. Let's scripture
But
this,
then,
Michael.
but then he appeared to them and told no, an angel appeared to them and told them not to worry, huh? Or was it Jesus?
Who's Jesus?
You that is a pretty good point though.
I
Yeah, but
think
what
was Peter the first, or was it the woman?
it was the women never saw him, I don't think. I don't think they liked women enough to let Jesus after his resurrection. I don't fucking know. They say that, but why'd he save a woman? Or they try to tell it. I never understood that
So
argument either. Why?
Peter and the other disciples started for the tomb. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary were sitting at the opposite, where they're opposite the tomb.
I hate the
That's
argument that they say, you know, it happened because they don't talk about women and they made the story about women. And you're like, I don't get that. That seems contradictory. But
okay. Read John 20, verse 4. You got your Bible app pulled up?
you read it.
All
You
right.
have literally yours pulled up.
I have
I
bits and pieces. I dissected by what I was searching for.
I do
So,
though. I have it. I can pull it up right here. John 20,
um,
verse 4, and I have the Bible app open. You ready? Both of them were running together, but the other disciple outran Peter and reached the tomb first.
yeah.
So who was running with John? Peter? No, John. So she ran. See, it's a
Mary
woman.
Magdalene, right?
I told you
So
it was the
she
ladies.
so she got how did she beat him? He must have been old as shit.
Yeah, bro, they're fucking real old. That that's the weird context of it though, you know, when they're like, oh, they made a woman do it so that you knew women weren't supposed to. So you're like, what the fuck? And you paid attention.
Yeah.
Suppose
Yeah.
supposedly, or people were like, I'm not reading this. He wrote about a woman.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Um, Christianity though says Christ fulfilled the shadows. Um, the old things pointed forward. They say that Christ is substance, and then you look at the biggest feast in the church, which is Passover, and you find out it's set on a system involving the equinox and what they call the Pascal full moon,
Yeah.
right? Which is like the Pascal's super old. Um, Why does the church still need old calendar to schedule the celebration of the risen Christ? Um, it's because like the Pascal that we just talked about, right? So the Bible says that God created the lights in heaven for signs, seasons, days, and years. And Psalm 104 says that the moon marks those seasons. But if time and heavenly markers aren't fake, because they're in the Bible, then it is in order and God did make signs in the heavens. So a lot of
Right.
people have they still bring that back to Passover and they're like, well, if God created this, then he might be showing the times that he wants at these times for Jesus. Does that make sense? That's how
Yeah.
they like first went with it, instead of changing it. Um, it just it doesn't really defend though. It still never gets rid of the moon equals pagan holiday aspect, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't eliminate that from it. And why wouldn't you do that? Anyway, they want to say Easter sounds like Ishtar, right?
Mhm.
And so she's an ancient Mesopotamian goddess tied to sex, war, and fertility. So that's why we get the eggs. And I think rabbits,
Yeah, rabbits a lot.
because they be, like
Yeah,
rabbits.
cracking like
Yeah.
rabbits.
So if they banging a lot, that's fertility. Um Eggs, though, were symbols of regeneration before Christianity adopted them into Easter customs. That doesn't really say, though, why you would take it. Nobody can ever answer this. Nobody will ever and we still do it to fucking today, right?
All right. And
Why?
then everybody will go to church on that same day.
Yes, it's like Elon Musk throwing up the Nazi sign, but he's trying to say it's something else. Everybody in this world does it, and they're like, oh no, we're going to do this thing, but I didn't mean it that way. And it's like, why are you even
Right.
fucking with it that way when
I feel
people
like
know what it is?
we touch a lot on this with Kroll, you know?
Yeah.
And that guy just gets banned from everything.
It's funny because on our TikTok, those videos still, they out. Didn't even take an hour. Still won't let it back.
Like,
But you know what? I
but if
think
you dig,
also,
it's there, you know? If you ask the right questions, you end up in the same spot no matter what. It's
yeah.
you, yeah.
Or like, why are you guys hanging out with Epstein if he's a known child pedophile? Well, I wasn't doing anything with kids. Yeah, but why are you still hanging with them?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why are you still adopting the eggs if you don't want Christ to be pagan?
Yeah.
Choose something else. Pick a fucking dragon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything. It's just weird, dude. It says though, like,
Those little chocolate ones, oh, those are some good little shits though. Those Cadbury ones.
oh my gosh, I love the filled Cadbury
Oh,
ones.
dude. Oh, yeah. Those the
You know what I can get behind too? Like when you
fuck
get
those
an
Pez thing or Peeps things.
yeah, fuck the peeps things. I like the like Pez style one that you're talking about. You open
Yes.
it up and it's little ducks or chickens or chicks and they're
Yeah.
crunchy. They're like sweet tarts. Oh
Yes.
fuck. Those are the
Yeah.
best ones to me. Or a big chocolate bunny. I'll take that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Solid chocolate, but none of that hollow shit.
Yeah, fuck that hollow shit. What are we doing here? In today's world, we're gonna get the hollow shit. You know that.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Like we get the same luxuries as communist countries now.
Mm-hmm. Um, anywho, back to the moon, since
Mm.
Artemis is there right at Easter time too. That's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, yeah. I had to go make a lap around it just to make sure.
Um,
It's awkward around this time too, huh?
the crazy part, huh, in Acts, the book of Acts, right? That's what it's called. That's how I'm saying that
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah.
Um, they have the deity Diana, or the goddess of the heavens, and they're
Hmm.
worshiping her. And
Hmm.
then Paul tells them, nah, she's lame, right? She ain't real. And they get all mad. And they're like, ah, oh, all hail the great wrath of Diana of Ephes, which is so
And
she's
they
a
get
goddess
shipwrecked.
of the
Yeah.
heavens, dude, and it's Artemis is her fucking name. That's
Then they get
weird, right?
shipwrecked, don't they? After
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Well, it's yes. It gets
Because
rid of
he's
they get rid of
imprisoned, right?
everybody.
That's the second time he's imprisoned and he was on the boat.
I don't think that's an axe. Yeah, it is because he's been two chained. You're right.
And he's on the boat and he's just praying, right?
It's long. Bible's long. I'm not going to try to pretend I know right
Dude,
now.
we did a Bible study on Acts and it took like 8 months to get through
Dude,
like
it's
the first
there's a lot
like
going on there.
17 chapters. Dude, like each one's worthy of study because like, dude, people like go into like that whole government part. No, that's in Romans. Romans 13?
Leviticus
I
is
think
the
it's
government shit.
no, Romans
I don't
13. I want to
know.
say.
Yes, he was shipwrecked. You are right. Paul was shipwrecked in Acts 27. Diana, though, is in Acts 19. So it's a little bit before 27, you know?
Yeah.
But good job, because it is a shipwreck, which is pretty, it's crazy. It's easier to remember once you start talking about it. That's just how the world works.
Oh,
Anywho,
Romans 13 is let everyone be subject to the government governing authorities. There is no authority except that which is God has established.
oh, does that work though when Christ says, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's and
Hmm.
render to
Who
God what
is the
is God's?
government? See, I've gone down this
See?
rabbit hole. Who's
Yeah.
America's government? We the people, right?
Yeah, they say.
It's supposed to be.
It's supposed to
It's
be.
not it, but we all cuck out and turn into like, oh no, just do what the government says. Who's the government? Me, I say.
Yeah, we are the people.
Yeah, if I say go 75, let's go 75. You know? If not, get
When
the
does
fuck out of my lane.
we were talking about this today too. When like if everybody wants to go slow but the speed limit's 75 and everybody wants to go 65, are you the dick? Because you want to go 80?
No, because the speed limit is higher. There's a
But
lane for one and a lane for the other, right?
what if
You want to dilly-dally?
there's
And
100 and you're the only one?
you treat it like a mountain pass, right? Like, hey, I'm passing this guy. And then you make your pass, right? Not fucking take 20 fucking miles to make your fucking pass and
Now we're
like
all gonna be late because of you.
fucking have your like tea and crumpets or whatever the fuck you're doing. It's what I imagine you're doing up there. I don't know. I just
Tea
imagine
and
you're a
crumpets
pompous
makes you
prick.
slow, motherfuckers. Yeah. Anyway, we were talking about that pagan shit, right? And Ishtar and Easter. Um, there's a historical argument though that it's more like I don't really know how to pronounce it. Istore, okay, and it's like a possible Anglo-Saxon spring goddess mentioned by Bede, and the Encyclopedia Britannica notes that one view going back to Bede is that the English word Easter derived from Isotre or whatever, and that is the Anglo-Saxon. So people who do try to like tie it to pagan are wrong, and it's more like Anglo-Saxon. I don't know if that means it's not pagan, right? Where's the
Yeah.
defining?
Yeah. Because of heritage, religion, like again, we're mixing up religion with like the Jews have just remained a both for forever.
Many people say it's probably the wrong goddess, so that they're talking about, dude, and it's bad etymology. And the Mesopotamian Ishtar was actually an Akkadian goddess. So the name connection to the English word Easter is not really accepted by historians anymore.
Hmm.
Yeah. I already kind of knew that because I like to fight with people who like to say Easter's pagan, people who don't like Jesus. I'm like, oh yeah, bitch, you don't really know your history. You need to teach them.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good teaching moment.
Um, back to the task at hand, though. Okay, is we so we just want to lay that out there, right? This lunar Jesus idea, okay, and the moon and this pagan thing, and it's lazy to just go pagan. I had a bunch over here on this screen that I read about the pagan stuff. None of it fucking is Jesus. It's not even about like resurrection. Jesus is resurrection, not a new life. You
Mhm.
know,
Mhm.
that's the big thing. We're not celebrating fertility and a new life with him. He's the same dude just coming back.
Right.
Israel itself had a sacred calendar built around the same appointed times, and Passover was 14 Nisan and the first month in spring. The broader, I don't know what 14 Nisan is too either. I should have looked that up because that seems like an important point.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I feel like you could almost get just as accurate of a calendar off the lunar cycles, right?
That's what it's designed off of, right? Well,
And that's
which
solar
calendar?
cycles, right?
Which, yeah, and which calendar?
Yeah.
See, you gotta figure out which ones you're going with too, or else do they all line up? Um, the broader Jewish calendar is lunisolar, which the months were tracked with lunar cycles while the year stayed aligned with the seasons. So I feel like that's a little bit closer, like to what you're saying.
Right, right. Where like our seasons start in like awkward times of the year, right?
Yes, yes. And that's just the historical reality of it, why they jump around. Um, did God use like sacred timekeeping then? If he's using this stuff, which if you believe in God and all this stuff went down, then yeah,
Hmm.
he broke it out like this for certain reasons. That's why, like you're saying, the different ones align still. Um,
Yeah.
so once Christ fulfilled, what the sacred time and all these alignments were pointing towards, why do we keep that? Why is there still the ritual? Um, Paul says in what is it, Colossians 2 or second Colossians, not to let anyone judge you over food, drink, festivals, or new moons or Sabbaths. Um, because those things are a shadow of what was to come, but the substance belongs to Christ. You I like that one though. That is one of my favorite things that he says in that chapter.
New moons or Sabbaths, huh?
Mm-hmm. And I think it means like new Sabbaths too, like new moons or Sabbaths. I
Mhm.
don't know. Are you when was the Sabbath? Saturday,
Saturday,
technically.
which we've changed it to a Sunday too. So,
See,
and there's been people who like straight up, I mean, I think who is that? The Seven-Day Adventists who really believe that? And a lot of Catholics
that's
do
what
like
the
Saturday Mass, Saturday night Mass.
that's what the crazies are. If you catch my drift, Seventh Day Adventists.
Hardcore.
Yeah. Um.
Isn't that what the Ruskies are?
No, you didn't catch my drift when I said crazies.
Yeah, I mean the other crazies, but
I live with one. I think, dude, I worked with a guy too who didn't do shit on Saturday. He was like, nope, don't hit me up. It's my religion. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, dude, I'm Christian. I was like, nah, they do that shit on Sunday. You go back that far? And he goes, yeah, but I'm not a Seventh Day Adventist. I just go off the Bible. I was like, that's pretty wild.
old strategy in the corporate world, though.
Good idea to stay out of overtime.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Paul in that specifically names, right, the very category of sacred calendar observance and calls it shadow material. So we're like, the fuck. And then in Galatians, Paul he's pretty crazy, right? So he gets more like angry about it, and he warns about turning back again and observing, quote unquote, days and months and seasons and years. So he talks like that return can create a spiritual bondage between you and like that past stuff, not with what's with Christ.
Could that be like a warning against like climate change?
That's crazy, huh? What, like
I'm just saying, like, I mean, if you,
turn back
uh,
again and observe.
like, I
So
mean,
don't,
I don't know.
we'll explain it. What the fuck?
You just feel like you could, I don't know. Then again, you can bend anything the way you want it. But like looking to the seasons and like the broader pictures of things, like, yeah. I mean, if you're like, oh, the world's gonna end because humans, like, yeah, of
Yeah,
course you'd think you were that big.
you're looking back at it too, and it's like maybe that means like tracking the data, you know? Oh, we're
Yeah.
gonna have climate change because 15 years ago. It's
Yeah,
like
now we're spending our actual like our money to fight this ghost. That's what I feel like it is, you know?
it is.
Fighting ghosts with money, like real money. It's the
I feel like it's we're racing
carbon
Usain Bolt.
ghost, you know?
The carbon
Like,
ghost.
like I mean, yeah, it exists, but I mean, to what degree are we affecting it, you know? It's
Yeah, I
always
don't.
bold of us to think that we're doing big things.
It's like if you and I are both in a race, okay, and maybe that's not the correct way to put it. Okay, how about this? If we're both building a castle, okay, and we're going to get all the riches in the world once it's completed and everything our heart desires, we have 2 years to do it, okay? I do it in 2 years, you do it in a year. Do I? Do we still not end up with the same fucking riches? Right?
Yeah, true.
If it's all the same when it comes out to it, does it really, you know, if we all get to the same spot but in a different way,
Yeah,
or if
I
the
get what
end
you're
result
saying.
is the same, does it really matter that way?
Yeah.
Does time matter that way? I guess you had one more year to enjoy your fucking riches and bitches, but
Yeah.
whatever.
But then again, there ain't no U-Hauls behind a hearse.
But what, yeah, I was going to say, what if you died in that year before joining them
Yeah.
riches and bitches?
Yeah. But yeah.
Hopefully, nobody just saw what I was winging around on camera there.
Yeah, dude.
It was an Elon Musk salute. Okay, everybody.
Whoa. This will get
I
us
figured,
canceled.
well, I hope it gets people to come
Not
check it.
on not on X though.
Yeah, come look at the YouTube. You'll get blown away. Honestly, speaking of social media too, we have a TikTok. It must have like a spam setting or something because it won't let me post anymore after 28. And I must have put
Probably.
all in like an hour, you know, but it doesn't tell me anything like that. So if anybody knows out there, fucking hook a boy up.
Yeah.
Anywho, if Paul's warning believers not to get dragged back under calendar shadow thinking, why did the institutional church formalize the resurrection feast using a sacred calendar formula? Um, why don't we just be like Christ is risen and keep this date? You know,
Yeah. I mean,
we do it
we're pretty tied to
Christmas.
Christmas. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
We're not, we're not like, well, if
When
he
is
fucking
Ash Wednesday for that
he
matter?
resurrected right at this time, but we're not like, wow, his birthday jumps around just his death when he came
So,
back.
so is Ash Wednesday just a random day too?
Is Ash Wednesday during Easter?
It's like X amount of far in front of Good Friday, isn't it?
So it was yesterday.
Today's Good Friday, or tomorrow will be Good
Today
Friday,
is
sir.
Monday, Thursday. Yeah. So yesterday was Ash Wednesday. If
I thought
tomorrow's
Ash
Friday,
Wednesday was like at the start of Ramadan, like months ago, dude.
I thought Ash Wednesday was Lent.
Essentially, yeah. That was forever ago. That started.
Yeah, Ash Wednesday is the start of Lent.
Yeah. What does that have? Like, when is that? Is that
Bro,
pagan EQ?
yes, it's Catholic. You're talking Catholic shit.
Yeah.
Come on.
And then, like, I think that has to go into, like, that's, like, their shit goes into Good Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I think a lot of that's just all off the Catholic, Roman Catholic
No,
shit.
no.
Yeah.
Good Friday's tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's not Catholic. That's when Jesus dies.
Yeah.
Is it when he dies? Yeah, he's arrested tonight.
What's Good Friday to the Catholics? It's pretty significant, isn't it?
I think it's
No,
the
it
same.
doesn't have anything to do with the saint, so who knows?
Tonight's the Last Supper. I know that.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
then,
essentially, right? Who knows?
well, yeah, it depends because the resurrection fucking jumps around with the moon.
Right? And
You know
like, I
how
feel like,
it that affects every fucking timeline, doesn't it?
like even Jesus's birth's messed up, like realistically, and everybody talks about that now too, you know?
How can we have how can we have like Good Friday and all that stuff on these days if we jump around on the day that he resurrected? That means that changed the day he died. That changes the days he preached. That changes the days he was in flipping the tables.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah. Changes his whole life, basically. I mean,
Yeah, whatever. Um, why don't we just celebrate the fucking resurrection for the entire week like a Super Bowl win?
yeah,
Like parties, parades, floats of Jesus.
yeah.
Could
And
you
like I
could
always
you
say like
imagine if we
happy
did it?
Resurrection Day just to remind people like it's Resurrection Day, dude. It's what happened today. That's the real thing that happened. Like I don't know what an Easter is. I don't need to know what an Easter is. Like I know what a resurrection is.
I think people try to also be like, Happy Zombie Jesus Day. Like, that's not cool. It's really fucking cool. Zombie Jesus. What are we talking about? Right? Doesn't hurt my feelings.
Nah,
um,
I mean, I would think zombie if I saw that, you know?
yeah, exactly.
I bet they
was
did. Did
do you
they not?
was zombies a thing back then?
If they didn't, I mean, they did
Oh,
after
I'm
that.
I'm going straight to Google for this right fucking now. Were zombies a thing in biblical times? Right?
People
That's what we want
coming
to know.
back from the dead.
Well, Lazarus,
Right.
that was Martha's brother, right? Or did he raise two people from the dead in the Bible? He raised two people from the dead, didn't he?
Yeah.
I could be full of shit.
I know Lazarus, but
So the dead people are being raised. So Lazarus in John 11 is brought back to life. He returns as a living person, though, not a monster. Ezekiel 37 describes bones coming together and receiving flesh and breath. But the passage is widely understood as a prophetic vision. Oh shit, about Israel's restoration and not a zombie outbreak. What would be around Israel's restoration where there's bones? What right next to Israel's full of bones right now? Gaza?
name it.
Palestine? Yeah. Yeah, you name a country? What the fuck? That was a weird one
Like
for us to
throughout
come across.
history, dude, like it's crazy how we had the hijacking phase. I wonder if that's gonna happen again.
There's a man in Mark 5 that lived among the tombs and he was violent and scared people. The text describes demonic possession, not reanimated body, though.
Hmm.
So I don't know if they knew.
And like I guess after you see a couple of those things, like a dude walk on water, a dude come back from the dead, water in a wine, you're just like, I mean, is he alive? Is he?
If you were one of those people too, right? That like you witnessed all the other miracles and then people they come quick. Jesus woke up. Jesus is back after 3 days. You're like, oh fucking course.
Of course he is.
Of course he is. You got to come back from the dead. You literally turned one fish, fed the whole village where I couldn't catch anything. Cool.
What happened to the guy who did stab Jesus?
Jesus's bile spilled on him and he got his sight back. And then he converted, didn't he? He
Then he
he
gotta
dropped
go see Jesus be resurrected. Be like, man, I killed that guy. I
he
saw.
dropped what was his name? It's because he was blind. And when he
Yeah,
stabbed him, like his blood and water hit him and he could see again. So he that said he instantly knew he fucked up.
yeah.
He was like, oh, turns out that was you'd be so fucking mad, dude. You'd be so mad at your boss. You're like, you're the ultimate company man, you know? You just
Yeah,
killed Jesus because your boss told you to.
yeah.
That's ultimate company man shit.
Like, then again, like, dude, so much, like, dude, propaganda and just brainwashing your populace has always been around, though. I just see, like, anymore, our whole red versus blue. Like, they both do the same shit, and, like, they just argue the
Mm-hmm.
same points back and forth. And, like, never the real issue, just who's doing it.
Tune in, folks. That'll be like our next episode, maybe. I've
Yeah,
written like
dude.
4 right now. I
I'm
get
getting
kind
this
of bored.
whole bow thing figured out, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting it done. You can move. It's your mustache. Remember, where's that at? um, okay, so here's where it gets a little bit weirder though. We keep on, there's the lunar stuff in the moon with Jesus and all that, dude. But the reason the church couldn't just casually get rid of that shit, is because Jesus didn't die in some random vacuum. He died in the context of Passover, um, which is the Christian tradition, and following the Gospels, connected the Last Supper and the crucifixion directly to Passover timing. So the Britannica Encyclopedia, I put a little note here that mainstream Christian tradition following Matthew, Mark, and Luke placed Jesus's last meal with the disciples in Passover context, which ties the crucifixion to 15 Nisan in that framework instead of 14 Nisan that Israel does. So reading that, I guess if they go through the historical actual documents of those dudes writing, they're all those days and they're like, well, we can't fucking pinpoint an exact one. And it's like, who writes a diary and doesn't put the date?
Yeah, especially on like, hey, we killed the Jesus.
I mean, that's a
I feel
pretty
like,
big sticky note in the fucking ledger book that day.
yeah, I feel like if the dude writing stuff down was what out that day.
Yeah, the
I,
court recorder did dog shit that day.
I mean,
It's
for
like, what?
like, did it not make it through like the like burning of Rome or something? Like, I mean,
I don't know, man.
and then like you start taking out books and like, oh no, these don't belong in there. So, I mean, maybe we're just missing some pieces even,
Yeah.
And
Um,
those Jews, don't even get me started.
yeah, we can't do that in this episode. It's about Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. What they've probably done to the Jesus because we don't believe in certain things. Like we believe to an extent the same things until like the whole New Testament.
If you're hearing this episode before Easter, you have to fight a Jew for us. They killed Jesus.
your civic duty. Then again, Jesus was a Jew, was he? Wasn't he?
No,
Technically.
no, his people around him had Jewish traditions that he followed, but no,
He
bro,
also
he
he
preached what
also
his God taught him.
but it was also like the Jewish prophecies that said he was the Jesus. He was the Messiah. Yeah. Yeah, they
No,
had
did
like 669 prophecies that he fulfilled every single one of. And like even if a modern human tried to do that, like I mean, given like even knowledge of knowing that it had to be done, that it would have been impossible to be the Jesus.
yeah, I thought they recognized him as like Messiah, but not like anything. He's like a magician. Like Andrew that I work with, they ain't no like heaven or hell type stuff. Weird, right?
How do you get that from the New Testament?
He's not. He gets it from the CJB.
Hmm.
He's a Jew.
What the heck do
I'm not a bad person.
But they believe in like the same God to a degree, don't they? Because like
Yes. They just believe in different not that Jesus wasn't him.
right, because like I mean, like I feel like when Jesus is explaining to the Jews and the Gentiles, like he explained to the Jews like this the God, and like to the Gentiles like our God over here, like putting it
Yes.
more in the framework of the Jews, like I guess, and like the phrasing of like I don't even have like a for instance, but I'm horrible with that. But there's a reason I didn't go to college.
Yes. There's a reason I did not either. Um, let's see here. From a traditional Jewish viewpoint, Jesus did not fulfill the messianic prophecies they believe the Messiah must fulfill. Many Jews expect the Messiah to bring universal peace, gather the Jewish exiles back to Israel, rebuild or restore the temple era, establish worldwide knowledge of God, and reign in a messianic age.
You described Hitler.
Yes, universal peace. Christians often point to Isaiah 53 as referring to Jesus. Many Jewish interpreters understand that passage differently, often as referring to Israel collectively or another figure.
How does America get peace? I mean, I'm just saying, if Hitler won, right? I mean, there would have been peace eventually. I mean, that's how America got peace was by winning. Peace, peace. Eventually, just which side wins?
And we're not going to go Hitler on a Jesus episode here. There was a pause there for a second. We're going to keep rolling. It was good though. It was good. um, the earliest believers do want to keep the resurrection tied to the Passover season. So it's not a moon obsession to these people. That's kind of why it doesn't die. The
Mm.
Christ is Passover to them still. And in many early Christian feasts become Pascal or Pashka or whichever, however you pronounce it. The whole Christian memory of the cross and resurrection is literally wrapped around the Passover meaning. Um, Christ fulfills the Passover, but historical events happen in that Passover season. So, how much of that old timing do you keep?
Mm.
And that's the big question, too, because Christ tells you it ended with him. The veil is ripped or torn.
Right.
Do you think people like in that time felt something like in their bones? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Like, why would you just go, like, think you needed to go visit a manger in the middle of the night? That's always been my question. With like a couple other kings, you're like, nah, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to follow this star and bring him all our shit.
I mean, they had to believe in something, right?
Mm-hmm. It's true.
I mean, like,
Um,
you deeply have to believe in something to just start walking through a desert, right?
dude, and to give them everything you have,
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. Um, so the early church though, dude, didn't agree with all of that shit, right? They were like, "Nah, we don't want that." According to the Britannica encyclopedias again, and I just go to those ones because they're old and that's what we grew up on. That's all I fucking know for an encyclopedia,
I feel like some
right?
of their descriptions are just so, I don't know.
Yeah. Um, the earliest Pascal controversy was over whether Easter should always be celebrated on Sunday or on the actual day of the Jewish lunar month, which is 14 Nisan, when the Passover lamb was actually slaughtered. Um, that means from the beginning, Christians were fighting over whether to stay attached to the old Passover date structure or move fully into Sunday centered resurrection, like make Sunday a pattern.
Makes
Maybe that's
sense.
maybe that's part of the Sabbath thing, you know.
Right.
I'm not too far. I'm not too what is that versed on my Christianity and why is to know that.
No, it's like
um,
questioning is how you learn it, though. You know?
mm-hmm, exactly. So we have two like churches of the same church, right? One wants to stay with the biblical date of framework of the biblical dates, and the other side wants to be like, no, resurrection, it happened on the Sunday with the Passover lamb, and that's where we're at. And Sunday, that's what we're gonna do. That fight, dude, actually like took over, and they literally called it the Quarto Deciman controversy, and they called them the 14thers. And they were people who, yeah, they wanted to keep the 14 Nissan structure. I keep saying Nissan, and I hope it's not Nissan because there's not two S's, you know?
Right. Maybe their spelling just sucks sometimes, you know? I feel like sometimes people just don't even know how to pronounce their own names, you know?
I I
It's not
spelt
my
it.
fault your spelling's weird, you
I'm
know?
reading I'm reading a Word document I typed. So if it's spelt wrong, it was me. Sometimes though I copy and paste like out of articles, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
When I say like the Britannica and shit. So I got Nissan from them. I just kept typing it the same way.
So,
So somebody let me know. Um,
I'm sure it'll only get us more comments.
yeah, so the Quattrodeciman controversy and the 14thers are what they went by. They were like, nah, we want to keep it fucking 14 Nisan. The Council of Nicaea, dude, standardized the moon logic. They said, all right, cool. So in 325, the Council of Nicaea got together and they didn't go, let's stop, right? They fucking, how many books did they condense down? Like 13,000 or some shit to 66? Went through, fucked all that
Nissan.
shit up. There you go. That is, that is Nissan.
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 Nissan. It's
Okay.
just more of a Arabic versus,
I mean, that's what it would be.
yeah,
They're
what,
Jewish or
Japanese?
Hebrew. That
What
sounded
is
Japanese.
Nissan, like two S's versus
If it was Japanese,
Nissan.
it'd be like, oh, Nissan.
Nissan. Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Oh man, we just had to go there.
We've included everybody, I think,
I
today.
mean, yeah, we haven't hit those fucking French in a while though. They're
I know,
coming.
since what, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
We roasted them. uh, okay, so
God, I love
in
America.
in 325 AD, Council of Nicaea was like, we're not going to stop all the moon and equinox stuff. We're going to standardize shit. And if we go look back at the Britannica again, it says they decree that Easter should be observed on the first Sunday following the first full moon after the spring equinox. So if we're going to let them decide what books are in and everything, we're like, they can decide the time too. So March 21st became the equinox date for the calculation. Hence, March 22nd to April 25th. Why the fuck did they take out these crazy books that they were like, they have special shit and all that, and then you institutionalized celestial and lunar training and timing?
Take some stuff out, you're like, yeah, a little of this, a little, like you dude, it's becoming a buffet at that point.
That's what I'm saying. That's why this was titled "What the Fuck, Lunar." You know, not Roger. Yeah, it's weird. The moon ain't a god. Jesus didn't become pagan, but the church wants to keep this resurrection feast inside a formal sacred time formula involving the spring equinox and full moon. They literally baptized moon logic into church order. So it's not like you got rid of it, you just accepted it and said that it's no longer celestial.
By keeping it celestial.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, I couldn't find a good enough reason.
That's got to come from Catholics. That's the only way that would make sense.
Yeah, I feel like
some pope was like, because I said so.
Wasn't Constantine in the Council of Nicaea? Right? It was like the Bible was written by 3 men. Wasn't one of them Constantine? I can't remember. I could be way off. I know Constantine matters. Anywho, a surviving post-Nicaea letter from Constantine says Christians should have nothing in common with the Jews in the observance of Easter and pushes for one unified date everywhere. And that language we can find in the Fordham source book from the historical text tradition. So that we're getting Constantine saying, okay, we got all this other stuff, but we need to honor Christ in the cleanest way possible. Right. So if we're going to do these traditions, we're not going to do it the Jewish way. If we're going to hold on to these old Jewish things, we're not going to do it their way, though. Okay, we're going to adopt eggs and bunnies. That's what no. Oh, that'd be funny. Yeah, it started right there. Oh, that's
Dyeing
good.
The eggs funny colors.
Yep. That's how it's going. So instead, you get like this hybrid between them because of this, and it's Passover, but it's spring based and it's full moon dependent, but now it's routed through like the church, and it's distanced away from Jewish people, even though they're the church that came up with that. Which kind of seems like we're just stealing it at this point, doesn't it? Look at zooming in on you because you were thinking, you're like, and it went. I thought it was going to bring us all the way into like your eye in a brain bubble. What's that thought? It is, though. We're just punking it, right? We're like, okay, we'll keep Passover. We'll keep it in spring. We'll keep it on the full moon. But now it's going to be through our church and not Jewish.
Yeah. Yeah. We're being spiteful to the Jews by being Jewish.
Yeah, dude.
Right on. That almost sounds American.
Brandon Kroll, shout out New Babylon, Mystery Babylon. So Christ fulfills the shadow, but the church keeps the shadow scheduling mechanism alive. Thanks, church. Colossians says festival, new moon, Sabbath, shadow, but Christ is the substance, right? Paul, we went over, warns us about being bonded to that calendar and those seasons and the moons and the new moons and Sabbaths. Romans says believers should not destroy each other over days, but church history shows like massive institutional efforts to formalize how the resurrection feast should be kept while moving forward through like sacred sky calculations. So we are fighting each other over these days,
Yeah.
On over Christ's days. And it's literally in there to not do that. God gives the signs. We build a system for them, but then we stick to protect this system and we act like it's sacred. And all of a sudden now we have this sacred system, running us. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? With like the lunar
Yeah.
thing on it. And we're like, we've got to keep it. And now it's in the church still.
It's because
And
it's like religious more than
yes,
it is about Jesus, It's about
Mhm.
religion.
It's fucked up, dude. The earliest Christian dating controversy was over Sunday. That's crazy, right? Like
Yeah,
our
like that was
our
like the
first,
first break of the church. Like, I mean, geez, we've
yeah,
broken up over like whether or not you use tambourines. I mean,
we just can't
which
decide
I think
which
needs to
day.
go a little bit further.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I don't think like, kind of how we said in the last episode that it they use lunar to keep Jesus that, or it's some pagan mood. It's subtle and it's retarded, dude. The honest truth is the church literally took Passover and didn't want to let go of the sacred timing, right? And they
Yeah,
centralized and standardized that for the church framework and then said it was just okay to keep this. But there's all these things that tell you not to keep it like that. But they just went, well, we've aligned it and we've taken it from the Jews. So they don't believe in the New Testament anyway. It's like, does that make us correct? Yeah,
where
who
do you
knows, dude?
go?
I don't know, man. Um, there's a reason they don't remove it. That's what I think. They preserve it and they standardize it. And I agree with God created the stars and the heavens and the moons, and stuff for signs and things like that. And that they are gorgeous and whatnot. And maybe the moon at that specific time is for Christ. So fuck it. Nothing's perfect except for that. Maybe it is within a couple days. And you know what? The earth is round, they say. And no, all days are shorter or longer. Who knows? That would just that just science proving out the Passover window,
Yeah,
or the Bible proving science is.
yeah,
I like I like how they like to
sure.
say that too. They're like, oh yeah, we proved it right with science. And it's like, well, it was already there.
Right.
You just went, yeah, it works. That's
Yeah.
like if somebody walked up to me, I didn't want to do the work on 5 + 5, and they just showed me 10, and I went, yeah, it works. Right. Yeah, we know. Anywho, we're gonna bang this out. That was a little Easter prep, Passover lesson, lunar Jesus. We don't do that, but the church says, hey, so we follow. We're
Yep.
the end of days best friends. I'm your boy Michael,
And I'm Matt.
and we'll catch y'all on the next one.